Hello, Wonderhussy here. Back in Surprise Canyon, hiking to Panamint City again. Why, you might be wondering, would I hike to Panamint City for the third time, especially considering that it's such a steep, challenging hike, not to mention the fact that it's winter and it's friggin' freezing cold? Well, it's because on my first visit to Panamint City, I hiked up with my sister for the day, and we poked around the town, and we poked around the mine. And then on my second trip to Panamint City, some friends and I backpacked up, and we spent the night at the Panamint City Hilton, this busted little cabin way up top in the ghost town. But I found out there's a way nicer cabin you can stay in up here, tucked away down a side canyon. Okay, so there's some other cabin up here. Is that really worth dragging your pack 7 miles uphill in freezing winter weather? Well, yes, because this other cabin supposedly has a hot spring. Okay, not a hot spring. It's actually a bathtub, an old claw-footed bathtub that somebody plumbed. So there's water coming into it from a nearby cold spring. And then there's some kind of boiler where if you build a fire, you can heat the water and take a hot bath. Now, I don't know about you, but soaking in a hot bath in the middle of this beautiful, wintry Death Valley Canyon sounds pretty cool to me. And so that's why I'm bushwhacking up this overgrown, rain-blasted canyon for the third time. Okay, so I was exaggerating a little bit when I said 7 miles. The hike up to Panamint City is only 5.5 miles. Straight up Surprise Canyon with a 4,000-foot elevation gain. But my friend and I were doing it post-Hurricane Hillary, which thrashed Death Valley last summer, wiping out many of the roads, including the road to Surprise Canyon. Which means we couldn't drive all the way to the trailhead and had to add another 3/4 of a mile and a few hundred feet of elevation gain, making it almost 7 miles. And to make matters worse, not only did the storm wipe out the road, it also washed out the hiking trail, which even in a normal year is tough to follow and wildly overgrown in spots. Post-hurricane, it was even harder to follow. And there was even more bushwhacking. But I really wanted to check out this cabin and the bathtub. No amount of backtracking and bushwhacking was gonna scare me off. I was determined. And besides, Hurricane Hillary was hardly the first storm to wash out Surprise Canyon. Since its founding as a silver mining town back in 1873, Panamint City has been destroyed by flash floods before. But the hardy miners stayed put, and people lived up there all the way until the 1980s, when a huge storm came along that was so powerful it completely destroyed the access road once and for all. Meaning nowadays, anyone who wants to visit this historic ghost town has to do it the old-fashioned way, on foot. And as you hike up the canyon, you can still see the aftermath of the 1980s flood. Trucks left stranded in the wash, abandoned where they were when the road was wiped out, left to rust away in the rain, snow, and sun, year after year, decade after decade. Beer cans, barrels, and destroyed culverts litter the trail in a somber reminder of man's folly in thinking he could ever really conquer nature. But, in a way, they're also testament to the astounding tenacity of these old-time miners who figured out a way to dig silver out of the ground way up in these lonely, godforsaken mountains on the edge of Death Valley, and then transport it back down the canyon to civilization. It was a tough life, but those guys weren't afraid of a little hard work. Just like my friend and I weren't afraid of a little climbing, scrambling, and bushwhacking in the name of adventure. We were hell-bent and determined to get to that cabin and take a hot bath. But determination or no, there's no two ways around it. The hike to Panamint City is one tough son of a gun. And every time I do it, I'm surprised again by how difficult it is. This adventure is not for the faint of heart. Aha! I'm almost to Panamint City again. I finally see the smokestack from the old smelter. It's one of the most recognizable landmarks here, but I'm actually not hiking to Panamint City. Remember, this time I want to take a bath, and the cabin with the bathtub is in a side canyon. Coming on some signs of human habitation. This old truck. Oh my gosh. This is toasted. Oh, here's another one. Wow, they just left everything. It's like they walked out yesterday. Who comes out here and shoots these things up, man? That's just so lame. Wow, look inside this one. More trucks, more equipment, but no bathtub yet. But there's a bulldozer. Look at the treads. They're rusted all right. It's been sitting up here since, golly, I mean, at least the 80s. And then there's this truck, a Powermatic. Wow, what a boss logo. Let's look in the cab. Oh my goodness. Too cool. They used to build these things to last. You know what I mean? If you took one of today's cars and left it sitting in a canyon for 60 years, well, you probably wouldn't have much left by now but a pile of crumbled up plastic. Oh, look. There's the portal to another dimension. We could go into another dimension, or we could go check out the cabin. That's right, we're finally here. Woohoo! Wow, this is a lot bigger and a lot fancier than I was expecting. I mean, there's even glass in the windows or some kind of plexiglass, plastic. There's a big, nice, shady porch. There's plenty of refrigerators. I'm just gonna guess that none of them is full of cold beer. And that's okay, because I don't like beer anyway. Oh my goodness. Wow, look, there's even a swing on this front porch. This is amazing. Oh, look. There's a little note here. Dear visitors to the castle, welcome to the castle and completing one hell of a hike. Please enjoy this historical cabin and do your best to leave it better than you found it. Wow, far out. I guess there's this group called the Friends of the Castle that come up here and do volunteer work, you know, restoring it or keeping it in good shape. I can't imagine doing that hike that we just did, carrying all the stuff you need just to spend the night, plus tools. Wow, look at this clock. It's forever 2 o'clock here at the Panamint City Castle. Wow, look at this bighorn sheep skull with the antlers on it. That is amazing. Okay, let me take off my backpack. I don't know why I'm still wearing it. And then I'll go inside and check out the interior. Oh, hold on a minute. I just saw the bathtub. Oh my God. Okay, let me take my pack off. Oh, oh so much better. Okay, wow, look at this bathtub. Little clawfoot tub nestled in the rocks. Oh, there's even somebody left some beard wash behind. That's nice. I don't have a beard, but I bet it works on armpit hair. Okay, but how does this thing work? Oh, I see. So basically you build a fire under this boiler here, and then it's plumbed. Let's see if the plumbing works. You know, we had all those crazy storms and they wiped out just about everything else in this canyon. It'd be a miracle if water actually comes out. I don't know. Okay, yeah, we need to follow this line all the way to the source because there's apparently a valve up at the top that might be turned off. Oh, here's where the water is coming out. I don't see where there's a valve though. You saw the pipe was broken?
Yeah, we need to find it's separated.
Okay. Okay, well, pipe is separated. It needs to be put back together. Oh, see, this hose had just come apart in certain places, so we just gotta hook it all back together, and then maybe we'll take a bath. Okay. Looks like we fixed all the leaky joints. Let's see if it works now. Oh, there's no water coming out. Okay, so we think what's happening is the water's all flowing downhill to that spigot. And so what we need to do is lift up this joint here so that the water flows over into that thing instead. Let's see if this works. Okay, well you can hear it coming into the boiler now. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Got plenty of flow. Now we just need to go get a whole bunch of firewood. Okay, I'm gonna go collect some firewood, but before I do that, I wanna go look inside this dang cabin. I mean, I'm gonna be spending the night in here. I'd like to know what I'm dealing with before I commit to it. Look how cool and rustic this is. Like beautiful stonework up the first couple feet, and then look at the wood. Just awesome. And then all kinds of tools that you would need to maintain the property. Rakes and saws and shovels. Some decorative artwork. An old tricycle. Look at that old tricycle. I mean, look how beautiful this whole patio is. There's a really nice grill. There's little brick stairs going up to where the boiler is. There's this whole brick patio that I'm standing on. I mean, this is one of the nicest cabins I've been to. And the fact that it's so difficult to get up here makes all this work even more amazing. Okay, let's go in. Oh, look, there's a little sign on the door. Vacant. Oh, look how cute. I guess if you're staying here, which we are, we'll flip it over and now it says occupied. Okay, let's go in. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cool. Look at that old grill from some old Jeep. And underneath it, it says the castle. Elevation 6470. 6,470 feet. I believe it. It is going to be chilly up here tonight. Okay, it's kind of cramped in here, but we're dealing with a really amazing 2-room cabin. There's this awesome kitchen where we first came in. I guess I'll turn around. That's the door we just walked in. So we have kind of like a little dining room, breakfast nook, a kitchen with all kinds of stuff laid in. Oh my gosh, look at this. These little waterproof plastic containers, batteries, tea, hot sauce, matches, salt and pepper, cream and sugar. Wow, everything you need to make a complete Thanksgiving dinner. And every kind of pot and pan and mug. And oh gosh, there's even extra camp fuel. There's water, and the water's got the date on it. This was bottled back in May of 21. Look at this sink. I mean, I guess that if we hadn't have raised that T, you know, if we hadn't have raised that connector up, you turn this on and water would come out, and that would be pretty dang cool. Bunch of really cool old glass bottles, some cleaning supplies. Look at all the silverware. It's all stuck. It's magnetic. Look at that. That is so cool. All these forks, spoons, a really old can of Spam. Oh my gosh, it's not Spam. It's Oscar Mayer brand luncheon meat. Yikes. Look at these cool old photos of Panamint City in its heyday. Wow, that's what that, I guess that was that smokestack. All kinds of cool notebooks here with names and stories of people who've stayed here over the years. Can't wait to look through those. Okay, here's the bedroom. 3 beds. I don't know. I might sleep in here. I might just put up my tent outside. Oh gosh, but there is a wood-burning stove in here. You could probably get it kind of toasty. That'd be nice. I mean, I don't know. This bed here doesn't look that bad. I think I could probably sleep on that and be okay. You know, if I put my own sleeping pad on top of these. Look how cool this is. There's a toolbox. This toolbox and tools is a gift to the castle from Boy Scout Troop 319 from Verdugo Hills Council, La Crescenta, California. They hiked it in back in 2014. That is super cool. Thank you, Boy Scouts. My sister used to live right in that part of Los Angeles. It's a beautiful area. Okay, and it looks like we got some games. Drunk, stoned, or stupid? Okay, we gathered a good amount of firewood. Now I'm going to try to build a little fire under this boiler, which is full now. So I ought to be able to get this going. Let's see. Alright, feeding this fire one stick at a time. Got it going real good with just one match. Kind of proud of myself. But it's going to take a while to heat this huge barrel of water. We already tested it, and it's not even tepid. But we turned the water off so there's no more cold water coming in. So whatever is in this tank, it's not going to fill the entire bathtub, but it'll be good enough. All right, let's check and see if this water is getting warm. We got a plug in the tub there. So the faucet itself is warm. Ooh, ha! It's hot. Let's see if it stays hot. Still real hot. Ooh, ow! I guess that's why they call it a boiler. I don't know. Now it's not so hot anymore. Tepid. Sun has already gone down. Beautiful pink sky. This water isn't really hot enough yet. Okay, I think this is as good as it's gonna get. If I want to be able to shoot this with any light left, I gotta get in this bath now. And I'm not gonna lie, it's lukewarm, so I won't freeze to death. But it's probably not gonna be the most pleasant experience. Huh? Only one way to find out. Ooh, it's actually not bad. Wow, and it's just, the surroundings and the surreality of the situation make up for the lack of warmth. But it's pretty warm, man. Yeah, you should get in. No, I don't mind at all. Just so everybody knows, I'm hiking with a friend that I met at a hot spring. So we were both naked, soaking in hot water when we met. Why not do it again up here in the mountains? Does life get any better than this? I'm taking a lukewarm bath in the mountains in the middle of Death Valley. Totally off-grid, powered by fire. Cheers. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath up in the Panamint Mountains. Rub dub, I was splashing in the tub. About to freeze my butt off cause I gotta get out soon. I also probably shouldn't stay too long in this water because, well, there was a lot of mining activity up here. And I was told the water is full of heavy metals. In fact, if you listen to it real close, you can even hear it. Master! Master! Master of puppets is pulling the string! 666! The number of the beast! Mr. Crowley! See what I mean? I better get out of here before I get possessed by the devil. Okay, bath time is sadly over. But that's okay. Because now I can go into the cabin where we got a real nice fire going. And that little wood-burning stove should be real cozy. Look at that. I got a flask full of whiskey and some hot cocoa. I think that'll be just the ticket. I found this old wooden folding chair in the other room. I feel like it'll be just the spot to sit down and enjoy this fire. Good morning. I survived my night in the Panamint City Castle. Amazing place, 10 out of 10, would definitely recommend. And I'm not gonna lie, the thought did cross my mind that I could take another hot bath this morning because we got here so late in the day yesterday that we barely had enough time to repair the line, gather the wood. You know, we didn't even really get the water hot enough to where it was a piping hot bath. And I know you could definitely have a piping hot bath here. You just have to get here earlier in the day. But I'm not going to take a hot bath now because, well, I wouldn't want to leave the embers glowing under the boiler. And unfortunately, we do have to hike out of here. Not too long from now, actually. I have all the way until noon to hang out and enjoy this amazing place. And it really is one of the most exceptional places I've ever been. Okay, now that we have a little more daylight, you can see better because it was kind of dim in here last night and it was hard to show you some of the cool stuff. And then, of course, well, last night we sat in there by the fire kind of poking around reading some of the amazing materials in here. Like, look at this. It's a really cool book, I guess, of the old Panamint News. That's right, Panamint City had its own newspaper way up here in the mountains. Well, there used to be a road up here and 2,000 people lived here. So yeah, they had all the services of an actual town, including a newspaper. Look at that, December 1874, March 1875. I mean, how cool is this? Look at that, business cards. It's like, I guess, like the classified ads back in the day. Ooh, wholesale liquors. I bet there was quite an audience for that. I mean, these miners up here, this must have been a rough and tumble place. And obviously, I spent quite a bit of time reading through these old trail registers, and there are some amazing stories in here. People who spent Valentine's Day here together, Boy Scout troop that hikes up here all the time and maintains this place, and then just, you know, random people hiking up here. Like, look at this guy. Did a solo trip to cleanse the soul. Or how about this guy? 72 hours ago, I was in the Middle East. Very happy to arrive back stateside, meet up with my brother, and immediately make our way up here. Wow, this guy must have been deployed in the Middle East, and as soon as he got back to the States, he came straight to this cabin. And can you blame him? I mean, I know there's not an active war going on there anymore, but just being in that environment, you'd probably dream of coming back and just spending time in the peace and quiet of this lonely little cabin in these remote mountains. And that's why I try to always remember how lucky I am that I'm free and able to hike to places like this that are maintained by awesome people like this Boy Scout troop. Anyway, it's interesting. The last person here before us was here in September. No one has stayed here in like over 2 months. Anyway, I just wrote about how I've already hiked up here twice and thought I'd had enough, but then somebody told me about the hobo hot tub. That's right, I didn't realize that this bathtub is known as the hobo hot tub. And isn't that the perfect name? I mean, it's such simple but efficient technology. And it kind of looks like something you might see in a hobo camp. Anyway, I'm certainly not the only person who thought the hobo hot tub was amazing. I mean, these books are just full of cool stories from people who came up here and had an amazing time. And in fact, there's this one guy who apparently liked it so much, they put his ashes up here. Look at this. These are the ashes of Herbert G. Norwell. Died at age 73 in 1982. Looks like in San Bernardino. Wow, it looks like he was born in 1908. And I guess he loved coming up here and staying in this cabin, staying in these mountains. Maybe he even lived up here. I mean, he died in 82. I don't think the road was washed out until 85. So maybe he lived and worked up here. Oh man, I think he's still in there too. I don't know, is that rude to do? It doesn't feel like all of him is in there, but, well, there's some left. Maybe they scattered the rest of them throughout the valley or something. Man, there's just so much interesting stuff tucked into every nook and cranny of this cabin. You know, now that there's better lighting, you can see how nice this is. I mean, look at all the spices, aluminum foil, silverware, and there's this cool bottle collection in front of the window. You know, all the pots and pans, the water. Then there's, look at this, There's even slippers. Oh my gosh, like if you backpack up here, like if you've ever backpacked, the first thing you want to do when you get to camp is take off your dang hiking boots. And so if you forgot to bring camp shoes, well, they even provide those. Anyway, we spent a very peaceful night in here. We had this fireplace going, sat drinking cocoa with whiskey in it, telling stories, and then, you know, we went to bed pretty early because, you know, it was chilly and we had our bellies full of cocoa and whiskey, and I slept over here and was very comfortable. My friend slept over there and he said he had a great night's sleep too. We didn't hear any mice, which is amazing because I do see little mouse poo here and there. So apparently there are, you know, unfortunately the only place I guess they could get in is over here. You know, that door there doesn't close super securely, but this apparently is the front door. You can't really see it, but that opens up onto the porch, and we haven't even opened that. That's looks like it's closed pretty good. I mean, there is a gap here. I guess a rat could maybe get through that, a little kangaroo mouse. But then the kitchen door, that closes super tight. This one, though, there's a pretty big gap here by the hook, and it looks like this room over here they're still working on. Like, it's not completely airtight. This window here, unfortunately, is... Oh, I was going to say it's busted out, but it's not. It's just somebody left it open. Or maybe the hurricane blew it open or something. I'm going to go ahead and close it. Well, unfortunately, even latched. There's a big old gap at the bottom. So this room over here is not really going to be weather tight. And I don't know. It sounded like they were coming back up here planning to kind of build this room out because it would be amazing. It's got an awesome stove and it's got a lot of light because it's got all the windows. So, you know, on a cold day like today, this would be the spot. Sitting in here with a fire, having the sun come in and warm you up. And look at this view. Absolutely amazing. My friend is out poking around exploring. There's actually something called the Wonder Mine. Imagine that right around the corner there. But me, well, it takes me a while to get ready in the morning. So I told him, go ahead. Do your exploring. I'm just going to sit here in the sun and drink my coffee. But before I go, oh my gosh, I was just flipping through this book one more time, and I don't know how I missed this last night, but this is the saddest story about this guy. I think he was one of the Boy Scouts that maintained this cabin. Remember, it's that Boy Scout troop out of La Crescenta, California. Well, I guess this guy's dad is the scoutmaster, and his son, I guess, used to come up here all the time, hike up with him, help him repair the cabin, but he died at a young age. It says here he was attending Cal Poly, but it happened in an instant on October 23rd. He was 20 years old. He was going about his daily routine when a tiny blood clot obstructed an artery that fed the muscle of his heart, and within moments he was gone. Can you imagine? I mean, he seems like he was a very fit person, hiking up here. There's a picture of him rock climbing. He sounds like an awesome guy, and there's even stories in here from other people who went to college with him and then came up here and read that, oh my God, that was him, wow. Just tragic, and a reminder that, oh my gosh, all of this could end at any minute, so you gotta really make every day count. Anyway, before we head out and do some exploring, I guess I should shovel out the ashes from this fireplace. I think that's what you're supposed to do. That's good etiquette, and there is a shovel here, and a bucket. So, why not? All right, unfortunately, it's about noon, which means we gotta start hiking back down the canyon and leave this awesome little cabin. And the thing that I think is the most awesome about this place is everything up here had to be carried on somebody's back. You know, and here I am complaining because my pack is 25 pounds. Boo-hoo, poor me. I have nothing but massive respect for the people who maintain this cabin and brought all this stuff up here. So, cheers, guys. I don't know if I'll be back, but, well, who's to say? I might. Because that bathtub was pretty cool.